NASA's James Webb Space Telescope team has been selected to receive the 2023 John L. Jack Swigert, Jr. Award for Space Exploration, a top award from the Space Foundation. This annual award honors a space agency, company, or consortium of organizations in the realm of space exploration and discovery. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. The James Webb Space Telescope team represents the best of our humanity and an enduring pursuit to better understand the cosmos. Every new image is a new discovery, said NASA Administrator Bill Nelson. Webb is the culmination of decades of persistence and once unthinkable human ingenuity made possible by international partnerships. Together, we are unfolding the universe and inspiring the world. The award will be presented at the Space Foundation's yearly opening ceremony of the Space Symposium in Colorado on April 17th. Within its first year of operations, the work and revelations by the James Webb Space Telescope team has opened an entirely new chapter of knowledge and inspiration that will forever change our lives and history, said Space Foundation CEO Tom Zelibor. This is an unparalleled achievement and is transforming astronomy and space science while delivering new inspiration and imagination to every generation and corner of our planet. The partnerships and collaborations between nations, researchers, industry members, and more have also highlighted the incredible things we can do together as we promote knowledge. Webb, the world's premier space science telescope, launched on December 25, 2021. In 2022, the Webb team successfully completed an intricate series of deployments to unfold the observatory into its final configuration in space. They then precisely aligned its mirrors to within nanometers, set up and tested its powerful instruments, and officially began Webb's mission to explore the infrared universe. With its optics performing nearly twice as well as the mission required, Webb is discovering some of the earliest galaxies ever observed, peering through dusty clouds to see stars forming, and delivering a more detailed view of the atmospheres of planets outside our solar system than ever before. Webb has also captured new views of planets within our solar system, including the clearest look at Neptune's rings in decades. The Swigert Award, which pays tribute to NASA astronaut Jack Swigert for his legacy of space exploration, will recognize the contributions of the team members who designed, developed, and now operate the Webb mission. Our vast and dedicated team on the James Webb Space Telescope mission is already bringing us closer and closer to seeing the earliest, most distant galaxies that shine in our universe, said Sandra Connolly, Acting Associate Administrator for the Science Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters. Webb is an international collaboration involving a group of thousands of diverse people that has launched NASA into a new era of world-class science and is revolutionizing our view of the cosmos. Recent winners of the John L. Jack Swigert, Jr. Award include NASA and the University of Arizona OSIRIS-RX team, the teams behind the NASA JPL Mars Ingenuity helicopter and InSight Mars Cube 1, NASA Dawn, and Cassini. Recently, the Webb mission's accomplishments also have been recognized by organizations including the National Space Club and Foundation, National Air and Space Museum, Aviation Week, Bloomberg Business Week, Popular Science, and Time. Webb, an international mission led by NASA with its partners ESA, European Space Agency, and CSA, Canadian Space Agency, is the world's premier space science observatory. Its design pushed the boundaries of space telescope capabilities to solve mysteries in our solar system, look beyond to distant worlds around other stars, and probe the mysterious structures and origins of our universe and our place in it. NASA headquarters in Washington oversees the Webb mission. NASA Goddard manages Webb for the agency and oversees work on the mission performed by the Space Telescope Science Institute, Northrop Grumman, and other mission partners, including Ball Aerospace. In addition to Goddard, several NASA centers contributed to the project, including the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California, Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama, Ames Research Center in California's Silicon Valley, and others. Webb's vision of a balanced program resulted in a decade of space science research that remains unparalleled today. During his tenure, NASA invested in the development of robotic spacecraft, which explored the lunar environment so that astronauts could do so later, and it sent scientific probes to Mars and Venus, giving Americans their first ever view of the strange landscape of outer space. As early as 1965, Webb also had written that a major space telescope, then known as the Large Space Telescope, should become a major NASA effort. By the time Webb retired just a few months before the first moon landing in July 1969, NASA had launched more than 75 space science missions to study the stars and galaxies, our own sun, and the as-yet unknown environment of space above the Earth's atmosphere. Missions such as the Orbiting Solar Observatory and the Explorer series of astronomical satellites built the foundation for the most successful period of astronomical discovery in history, which continues today. Webb supported science behind the scenes as well. Shortly after assuming the job vacated by Keith Glennon, Webb chose to continue the same basic organization that his predecessor had adopted for the selection of science programs. However, he enhanced the role of scientists in key ways. He gave them greater control in the selection process of science missions, and he created the NASA University program, which established grants for space research, funded the construction of new laboratories at universities, and provided fellowships for graduate students. The program also encouraged university presidents and vice presidents to actively participate in NASA's space science program and to publicly support all of NASA's programs. This record of accomplishment is perhaps more notable given Webb's initial reluctance to accept the job. An experienced manager, attorney, and businessman, the North Carolina native had served as director of the Bureau of the Budget and as Undersecretary of State in the Truman administration. Webb also served as president and vice president of several private firms and served on the board of directors of the McDonnell Aircraft Company. He was not, however, a scientist or engineer, something he noted when President Kennedy asked him to consider the job as NASA administrator. He told an interviewer that, "I felt that I had made the pattern of my life, and I was not really the best person for this anyway. It seemed to me someone who knew more about rocketry, about space, would be a better person." Kennedy did not see it that way. With his keen political savvy and exceptional managerial skills, Webb was perfect for the job, the president believed. He made it clear to Webb that the NASA administrator's job was a policy job. He needed someone who could handle the large issues of national and international policies. The scientific community was equally anxious about Webb. The scientists at NASA headquarters had wanted someone with a keen interest in space science and a desire to bolster the involvement of universities in the space program. Within a few months, Webb proved where he stood. At the height of the Apollo program, NASA had 35,000 employees and more than 400,000 contractors and thousands of companies and universities across the U.S. Under Webb's direction, the agency undertook one of the most impressive projects in history, landing a man on the moon before the end of the decade. As NASA Administrator Sean O'Keefe said when he announced the new name for the Next Generation Space Telescope, "It is fitting that Hubble's successor be named in honor of James Webb. Thanks to his efforts, we got our first glimpses at the dramatic landscape of outer space. He took our nation on its first voyages of exploration, turning our imagination into reality. Indeed, he laid the foundations at NASA for one of the most successful periods of astronomical discovery. As a result, we're rewriting the textbooks today with the help of the Hubble Space Telescope, the Chandra X-ray Observatory, and the James Webb Telescope."